Welcome to a very special city with a very special history. One whose influence extends way beyond the boundaries of these ancient, iconic walls. The stories, culture and architecture will always be proudly celebrated and preserved here, but this isn't just a city living in the past. There's a real desire to move with the times. With such a strong connection to its history and such an appetite for the future, this is the perfect place for a brand new sporting event. So welcome to York for the Plusnet Yorkshire Marathon 2013. Yorkshire's sporting success in recent years has been remarkable, with the county's athletes producing 7 gold medals at the London Olympics, and with Le Grand Départ of the Tour de France arriving here in July. This event is the perfect opportunity for the county to prove what it can do as a major sporting host. Constantine and the rest of the Romans would surely have approved. Well, the organisers could not have wished for a brighter start. The event has sold out in its first year. Something about this race has captured the public's imagination. I'm joined now by Rebecca Tomlinson. Rebecca, you must be delighted on so many levels that this race has already been such a success.
Yeah, really shocked by the success of it, and I think, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. And it's been a sellout in 3 days, which we were all shocked by, so we're hoping that everybody has a good day.
And another amazing element of this race is that it's a not-for-profit event, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think for the Jane Tomlinson appeal, so it's really exciting to think that other charities that are involved have also raised, considerable amounts of money. So fantastic.
And just finally, this event's not just raising money in your mum's memory, but this is a brilliant initiative for the whole county of Yorkshire, especially with so many debutantes.
Yeah, I think for Yorkshire this is a fantastic event, and just judging by the enthusiasm behind it, I think it's something that we're obviously all proud to be associated with, and I think Yorkshire folk are always we like to put our stamp on things, so I think this is going to be definitely the Yorkshire Marathon.
Well, thanks very much, Rebecca. I know you're going to hugely enjoy this experience. So a full field are ready for this 26.2 mile test. Let's join our commentator for the day, Patrick Winterton, for a lowdown of what's in store on this Yorkshire course.
Well, the course that Rebecca and the other 6,000 other entrants are going to take on is going to be very, very fast. They've made great efforts to choose a flat course. It winds its way through the city before heading out into the villages around York. 26.2 miles, of course, the distance. Now, 1 or 2 areas where they go out and back. Now, that won't make any difference to the distance, but psychologically, that's a really tough part of the course. And then once they complete the second of those, they're heading for home. 20 miles completed, the pain piling on at this stage. It's going to be a fantastic race.
Well, out on the course today, finding out exactly why so many people have come to this, the first edition of this Yorkshire Marathon. We've got former Commonwealth decathlon champion Dean Macy and marathon expert Charlie Webster. Dino, you're no longer competing, but you're doing a fair bit of coaching these days. Have you got a few words of Dean Machine motivation for them out there?
I think there's only one thing to say to the guys that are going to do 26.2 miles a day. Not only are they mad, but they need to grip it and rip it. That's what we say in the decathlon. Now, the decathlon may not be that endurance-based, but it is 2 days of blood, sweat and tears. And so I kind of, even though I've not done one myself, know what they're going to go through.
Charlie, you've done 7 marathons, so you know what they're going to be feeling out there. It's a great moment when the training's over and finally race day is ready and it's upon you.
Yeah, it is. So much has gone into training. People don't realise it's not just about the 26.2 miles. You train for such a long period and the long runs on a Sunday morning. So actually to be here on the race day, it's a huge relief. But I always get really nervous at the start of a race. So as soon as you start, it's so much better to just get into it.
And we've got 2 cracking elite fields as well.
Yeah, there's some brilliant Kenyans that have come over. There's one gentleman, look out for, he's called Edwin, because he did a 2:10 this year just as a pace setter. So I don't know what he's expecting to do actually as a starter. And there's a good female elite field as well. We've got an ultramarathon runner that's going to see what she can do. That's just come 7th in the Comrades as well. So a really good field.
Dino, just finally from you. Ever tempted to actually get out there and have a go?
Absolutely. Do you know what I will do? But I have to be over 40, because once I'm over 40, then I think it's acceptable to run over 4 hours from where I've been. But one day I will do one, but it ain't gonna be today.
You've heard it here first. As soon as Dino turns 40, we will be getting the application in for him to join them at the 2nd or 3rd edition. Well, let's get out and find out about one or two of these characters who've turned out for what should be an atmospheric marathon.
The race starts and finishes at York University. That's the place to feel the energy and understand why people run.
Well, it's amazing who you bump into at some of these city marathons. You may recognise this guy, Tony Audenshaw from Emmerdale, and a veteran of some 30-something plus marathons. Tony, great to see you competing here. What a brilliant day this is for Yorkshire.
This is a great day for Yorkshire, and it's a perfect day for running. These conditions are great. It's 11 degrees. A very light breeze, a little bit of rain in the air later. It's going to be a very fast time on a very fast course we've been promised.
How do you find the time for training? Because when you're on set and filming, it's not a 7-8 hour day. I imagine you'll have some days where you'll have 13 or 14 hours of filming and you'd be too exhausted to train.
I worked for somebody once, and I was late for work once, and I said, I've got a problem getting up on the bus, and he went, get up earlier. And it's so simple. You get up earlier, and you get in, you do your run before work. And then if you are tired after work and you can't do it, then at least you've done your run first thing in the morning.
You've run so many marathons. What is it that's attracted you to this distance and this sport? Because, most people have done a few and they might come back for 5 or 6, but to get up to 30 plus marathons is an incredible record.
There's something special about the marathon. It's a romantic distance, I think. It doesn't feel very romantic when you're doing it those last few miles. But 26.2 miles, you find out about yourself. There's a lot of people here today doing the first marathon, and they're going to find out about themselves from 20 miles onwards, and it's a great thing to go through.
A number of the celebrities deciding that the relay is the place to be. Danny Mills, former England footballer, is teaming up with Hannah Cockcroft. And then Harry Gratian has decided to go the whole distance himself. The TV presenter from Look North, approaching his 63rd birthday. It's going to be a fantastic day out for him. And squeezing in a few miles of training at every opportunity throughout the working day. And we'll find out whether it's paid off.
You have done one marathon before. Yes. When was that?
1986. I did the London.
How did you do?
I did it. I think I did it in about 4 hours 30 then, which I was very pleased with. But this one will be, I don't know, 5.5 plus. This is beyond my comfort zone in any shape or form. I've done 22, but I was completely and utterly a spent force at the end of that. So I've got to find somewhere another 4 miles. So it's my home city. I just want to get finished, that's all.
A number of the runners deciding that fancy dress, it's not just an excuse to run a little bit slower. It's all about raising as much money as possible. The hardest problem is maintaining body temperature somewhere near normal.
Yeah, what sort of time are you looking for in that's actually quite nice, isn't it? It's real nice and varied.
Quality, I don't mess around. Probably, normally about 4 hours, so I'm looking at 5 hours, to be honest.
I saw you coming up the path. I thought you was Crocodile Dundee. What's with the old Bermuda uniform?
Well, every time I wear this, the sun shines. So they're forecasting heavy showers today, but not with this outfit on. It'll be sunshine all the way.
Lots of nervous people around. Most of them have completed their warm-up at this stage. The elite athletes get the honour of getting up the front of the field. And the Cheltenham girls are there again. Good start position for them.
Now, you are a man prepared and ready for action.
Really? I'm just hungry.
Well, there are plenty of refreshments out on the course for those that don't want to carry a month's worth of fuel.
12 weeks training. Should have had 16, but we're still going to try and make 3.5 hours. Yep.
3.5 hours off 12 weeks training is not bad. And presumably you'll be running together, or is there a bit of brotherly rivalry going on here?
Yeah, we'll run together, yeah.
Now, you realise you've got the perfect opportunity to give the elites a run for their money. You do the first half, and then you run out of a bush and do the second half.
No, we're not doing that. He might give up, yeah, halfway around.
Rebecca Newman started her singing career busking outside York Minster, but today she sings to thousands of athletes at the start of the Yorkshire Marathon.
It's rousing music. There's thousands of people here. Are you feeling ready?
Yeah, absolutely, can't wait, yeah.
And you've brought a whole contingent here from Winchester. Why have you decided to come up and have a go here at this Yorkshire Marathon?
Local girls. Yeah, but we just live down in Winchester, so we're from Yorkshire originally.
Oh, you've come home for this first marathon.
Really? Yes, yeah.
80-year-old Dickie Bird, the former Yorkshire cricketer and of course the Test umpire, has been called in as the official starter for today's race.
The Yorkshire people are wonderful, wonderful people. They're salt of the earth, down-to-earth people. What they have to say, they'll tell you. And they're straightforward, and there's nothing that they can't beat. And wherever I went in the world, they always asked me about Yorkshire, because I'm so proud. I mean,
Dickie now in position and the athletes ready to go. Holly Rush on the left of your screen in black with a pink headband, and then the wave of Kenyans in yellow as always, and they're expected to dominate in the early stages. 4 high-class Kenyan men, and of course Helen Kosgei as well, who's one of the favourites in the women's field. Everyone checking their stopwatches as they go across the line. And it's going to take just a few minutes to get them all underway. Well, the early pace, as expected, being set by Lukashol and Mutai and Korea. Darren Deed in black settling in the top 5, which is a good start from Darren Deed. It'll be interesting to see his tactics today. Certainly he'll be hoping to be the first British runner home. And the leading women, well, a good start from Jocelyn Payne. She's alongside Kosgei of Kenya. And the women mixing it in with the men. They just need to find someone who'll run at the same pace. 3 of the British athletes going with the Africans in the early stages. Kosgei looking for Shaney. These two have been sharing a room over the last couple of days, and I dare say they've discussed their race plan, and almost immediately they step up the pace and pull away from the European competition. Kosgei trying to control the race at the moment, urging Shaney on, saying, stay on my shoulder, I'm gonna need your support. They all know that marathons are so much easier when you've got company. Well, there's plenty of company in this section of the field. In fact, so many people, it's hard to find the space, but it will only take a couple of miles for them to spread out. The 2 race leaders in the women's field, and just a little bit further back, Holly Rush from Great Britain, looking very good at the moment, trained by her husband Martin Rush, and sporting the headband that I think she picked up when she was racing in the Himalayas. She also finished a very impressive 3rd in the World Mountain Marathon race this year, and it's going to be interesting to see what time she produces.
What do you expect, and what are your expectations that you've put on yourself?
My expectations are just really to just run as fast as I can, and whatever that gives me really.
And what about the competition? Because we've been chatting about them before.
Yeah, well, I know there's the Helen, the Kenyan girl, and an Ethiopian who've obviously got very fast times already under their belts, so I should imagine it's going to be quite an exciting race between them. And then I know there's a few other British girls, so hopefully we can get together and push each other on.
Because it's in York, do you get a chance to actually look when you're racing? Is it all about the race? Does where it is matter?
I think it does matter, actually. If it is an interesting place, then I think it does uplift you more.
The leaders now into the city. They've entered through Walmgate, approaching York Minster now, one of the most spectacular sights on the course. And certainly a sight that will amaze many of the runners today. Past the south entrance of York Minster, a building completed back in 1472. Now that was a bit of an endurance test, over 100 years to build it, and the four Kenyans up front, Lokashol, Korea, the two leaders, Mutai just a little bit further back, guaranteed at 22 seconds in the early stages, and the masses still going through Walmgate as they enter the city through the medieval wall. They might glance up and see the heart of Yorkshire on the west end of the Minster. And they can't fail to appreciate the size and beauty of the building.
Mr. Hulk Hogan, coming out of Erdity, how are you doing? Why have you decided to wear that?
I'm doing it for charity. I'm doing it for the Yorkshire Air Ambulance, so I wanted to raise a little bit of extra cash. So I got people at work wanted me to make it an idiot of myself, so decided to go for it, and it's worked a treat. It's going to be a challenge, but I reckon with the crowd and obviously my hometown of York, I reckon it's going to get me across the finish line.
What's this all about?
For Rainbow Trust, name it Finrock.
Oh yeah, have you done marathons before?
No, it's the first one.
And have you been practicing in your outfits?
Oh, got me down.
Oh, fancy wearing a dress?
I know, well, it's what I went out in last night.
You didn't go home? You didn't have time to go and get
No, I
changed?
didn't have time to get changed, I had to go straight out.
What do you think of the atmosphere so far?
Oh, I love it, it's great, yeah. This is the reason why you do it, with fans and supporters.
There are some first-timers here, but there are also some very experienced runners.
Why have you decided to do the Yorkshire Marathon?
To celebrate my wife's 200th marathon. She's just behind me.
You are not the 259th marathon runner, gentleman, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, is there a bit of competition between you and your wife?
Yes.
Is it very competitive?
The loser has to do the washing up for the next month.
And what pace are you on for?
About 5:45.
5:45, right, I'm going to see where your wife is. Best of luck.
Susan Adams has chosen her home marathon for the big one.
What is it about marathons that you love so much to make you do that many?
At the moment, I don't know.
Every time you run it, you're like, why do I do this to myself?
Once I've got 3 miles out of the way, it's a bit better.
He said if he beats you, you have to do the washing up for a month.
Oh, well. He usually packs the dishwasher, which is nice.
Do you train together?
We do train together, yes. Yeah, he's got longer legs, so he's going to get away from me, isn't he?
He's got an advantage. Are you going to try and catch him up later? Maybe he'll just, like, blow out.
Yeah, I'll catch him up.
Have you run a marathon before, either of you?
No, never. This is my first ever anything. First event of any sort.
So what made you do it then if it's your first anything?
I lost a friend to breast cancer, and another couple of friends have been diagnosed with it, so I decided it was a no-brainer really. I had to get my trainers on and do something.
The atmosphere is incredible through York, and it's like really spurs you on. You've just got to make sure you don't get too overexcited and go too fast, really. Because we've got our names on our shirts, you think you know everybody when they're shouting you, but it really spurs you on. It just helps so much. And if it's like this at the end, it's going to get us to the finish.
Welcome back to the Plusnet Yorkshire Marathon. The leaders through the 4th mile. They're out of the city now and heading out into the country on what is essentially a very flat, fast course. John Mutai setting the pace, the 26-year-old who won in Annecy. He won again in Edinburgh in a very tactical race, and he could be making it his 3rd victory of the year. Lokashol, career, likely to put pressure on him though. Kales also in that group of 4, but Kales at the back already showing signs of fading, looking a little bit heavier. Now that's the first exchange for the relay athletes when they come through. Well, Kales dropping away. Suddenly he finds himself 50, 60 metres off the leaders, and I'm pretty sure that means he's out of the race, and it's Career who's upped the pace and done the damage. Lockershold's gone with him. Mutai having no problem staying with the pace at the moment. And Career can even afford a smile as he goes past the drink station. Well, the music will help with the rhythm. These guys, though, so focused. But there's no way that the support on the side of the roads will escape them, and it will give a massive boost to every single runner out there today. What a sight to see the Kenyans in full flow, running at about 3 minutes 10 per kilometre. The leading women going at around 3:45, so they should be at around 2:30, 2:35 for the day's race. Payne and Fletcher running side by side. They've been talking, sharing refreshments, and at the moment they find themselves in third and fourth, some 55 seconds off the leader, Tigges Shaney. Jocelyn Payne with that very distinctive style of hers, and some 50-60 metres behind them, Holly Rush, who's started conservatively. Now, she's had hamstring problems over the last couple of years, so I don't think that's an issue. She still looks to be running fluently, and things going to plan.
What about the course? Is it in your favour? Have you had a look at the Yorkshire Marathon course? I've got to be honest, I don't know the course at all. I know that it's, they say it's flat. I know there's a few out and backs, which could be interesting, especially with the weather. So at the moment, I'm able to run for a long period of time, and I hopefully can play with that and maybe be able to be stronger in the second half. I think really trying to stay with people is going to be the best tactic, really, because it's not very nice running on your own, especially if you might run into headwinds. So I'm just going to look to run in a pack, whether that's with guys, girls, whatever.
It seems as though the two leading women have the same policy. They've teamed up with number 81, that's Chris Gibbons. And they've been running together for a while now. Shaney and Kosgei sharing the lead, and they keep pushing. Helen Kosgei, who's had 2 years off, having started a family, making a very good comeback. She was second in Belfast to Natalie Lehenkova, and she's got every chance of taking the top spot here.
Did you always know that after you had a child you'd come back into running?
Yes, because that's been my dream and my life to run.
So what was it like doing the first marathon this year, which was Belfast?
It was great. I didn't know that I'll finish or what, because it's been a long time. But I tried my best.
Mile 9, a third of the distance already completed. Kosgei settling in behind Shaney, who comes from Bakoji, which is the same place as the Dababa sisters and the Bakele brothers. So an area of Africa that produces some outstanding runners. And certainly she's keeping up that reputation. Just taking on one mouthful of fluid, that's enough, every 15 minutes or so. The bulk of the field now approaching the 4.5 mile stage, so they've covered half the distance of the race leaders and approaching the exchange for the relay runners. And Chris Chittle of Emmerdale is just about to hand over the running duties.
So Chris, uphill section, how's it feeling?
Delightful, my feet are awful, but delightful. Good company.
You've only got about 200 metres to go, so a sprint finish is on, surely.
I'm a finish, yes. Watch. Good.
So a final burst from Chris Chittle as he heads towards the exchange. He'll be handing over to a real marathon runner, Tracy Morris, who was the first British woman home in the London Marathon back in 2004. Danny Mills has already finished his leg, the former England right back, and he's also an ambassador for the Jane Tomlinson Appeal, and as such is well aware of all the funds being raised today.
So, marathon man, or not quite at the moment, because obviously it's 4.5 miles. How was it? You must be the first celebrity to hand over.
Quite possibly. Obviously, I passed the band on to Hannah Cockcroft, who should get us a commanding lead. Obviously, wheeling her way through the second leg, but it's been fantastic. been running along with a few runners, seeing people I know, trying to keep, help them along as well. But yeah, the support has been magnificent, and I think brilliant today. We should raise in total in excess of £1.5 million for lots of different charities.
A lot of the celebrities involved in the relay, but Tony Audenshaw from Emmerdale is going the whole way.
Tony, 4 miles in, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going great, thanks. I'm running a bit faster than I thought I would. These conditions are amazing. I've got to say, I thought it might be a few people around the middle of York, and a scattering of people. The crowds are absolutely sensational.
Hannah Cockcroft on the road, having taken over from Danny Mills, and she's approaching the fastest women in the field. Remember, she was one of the stars of London 2012, taking 2 gold medals in the 100 and the 200 metres, setting world records as well. Today, she races over 6.1 miles. The leading men still way ahead. They've set a blistering pace, still averaging 3 minutes, 9 seconds per kilometre. And the lead being shared by Mutai and Korea. Mutai we've seen a number of times in Great Britain. He's raced in Edinburgh and Belfast with a huge amount of success. Approaching the halfway stage now, and he's got a PB of 2 hours 11 minutes, which he set in Israel in 2011.
Yes, I will try tomorrow to beat my PB. Because I ran 2:11.08, but tomorrow I will try to put my PP.
There's lots of different ways to train for a marathon. For you, what do you think's made you so successful?
I prepare in Kenya for marathon, and I think maybe tomorrow will be good because I train good in Kenya, no injury, everything's good.
Well, 2 things that are required for a PB, a flat course, which they certainly have here in Yorkshire, and some good running mates. And Mutai now looking for Lokeshal or Korea to come up alongside him and give him a hand with the lead. Korea responding, or trying to. He's not so quick over the half marathon, Korea, with a PB of 1:03.50, but he's 100% slow twitch fibres, and his endurance is outstanding. Looking very comfortable at the moment. Good turn of pace from Korea, and Mutai and Lokeshal go with him.
Even though you're a runner, you're experienced, is it because it's marathons, do you get a different approach? Do you feel nervous?
No, I'm not. I'm comfortable.
You seem a very confident person.
Yeah.
And how's training been going for you?
The training is good for me. I've been training with strong guys in Kenya, and now I'm feeling comfortable.
Lokeshal taking on a lot of liquid, which might be a sign that he's starting to struggle. He's got a sister who won the Brighton Marathon this year, and he only switched to the longer distance last season. Better known, I guess, for his pacemaking for Sami Wanjiri in the London Marathon when the course record was broken. But certainly Lokeshal is looking least comfortable of the leading 3. And this is where it really starts to hurt. And that long look over his right shoulder indicating that he's now thinking about defending 3rd place rather than racing for 1st place. From 3 to 2, it's down to Mutai and Korea. Round the first of the U-turns, the out and backs, which are certainly a psychological test. And the first of them coming at Stamford Bridge at the 14-mile stage. They're over halfway, and now we see whether they can maintain the pace that they set early on. So far, incredibly regular running. 3:09, 3:10, 3:11, no more than that for each kilometre. Well, there are 2 men in the race, really. In the women's, it's a similar situation. Kosgei versus Shaney. Kosgei still looking comfortable. Shaney in the yellow vest, maybe overstriding a little bit at this stage. She's been surging forwards and backwards for the last 5-6 minutes, just dropping off the pace and then working hard to get back on the shoulder of Kosgei. Kosgei may sense that Her opponent is in a spot of bother. Certainly it looks as though she's up the pace, and that little cheeky look over her left shoulder, an indication that she senses the time to make a move, and it's taken her no time at all to open up a gap of 20-30 metres. And Shaney just looking on in agony. The tempo is gone, the speed is gone, and I think the will has gone with it. Well, that's one of the great beauties of marathon running. You may be the best in the world, but you still don't know how you're going to perform on the day. And today, Shaney has hit a big wall. I guess the same will happen to many of those in the masses, but before it does, they'll enjoy the party. And what an atmosphere is being generated around Yorkshire today. Astonishing support. And this is what the runners will remember, and this is what will make them sign up for next year's race as well. There are plenty of famous faces out there today. Harry Gratian, co-presenter of BBC's Look North, 63 in a couple of days' time, plodding on. He won the MBE this year. I think he deserves another one if he completes the race today. Kosgei now the leading woman, going through mile 18, 3:45 per kilometre. It's been a fantastic effort so far, and still running very, very quickly indeed. No change in the pace that she set in the first couple of miles. Eyes down. Now, if she looks up and to the right, she'll see Holly Rush, who has moved into second place in the women's race. And Holly, just like Kosgei, has got the pacing absolutely right today. Philippa Taylor, who's certainly leading her category and may well finish on the podium if she keeps this pace going. Good strong running from her. You can see the pain etched on her face. The two leading men, Mutai, Korea. Every opportunity to get a little bit of fluid, and they take it. 4 miles to go now, and Korea opens up a gap of some 7-8 metres in the drink stop. That could be useful. Is he going to take advantage? Not so easy when you're trying to take on fuel and fluid. Best to keep a steady pace, but it is an area where many athletes seize an opportunity. Korea will be able to hear the footsteps of Mutai, and he'll certainly be able to see the shadow if he looks down to his right. He said before the race that all efforts would start at around 20 miles, over the 30-kilometre mark, and they're well past there now. Is it time for someone, one of these two, to try and make a decisive break? In synchronised running, but Mutai is making more noise with the footsteps than Korea. Just slightly heavier on the legs, and that is all the sign you need. A shake out of the arms from Korea, which might be an indication that he's going to go for it. The stride lengthening, and the damage is done with so much ease that it's hard to believe. The war of attrition has been won by Korea, provided he can keep this pace going. 3.5 miles to go. Korea, Kosgei in control of their races. They look in very good shape. For the masses, they know that the last few miles are the hardest. Welcome back to the Plusnet Yorkshire Marathon. The leaders heading for home. Korea is the top man at the moment. He's been pushing the pace ever since he went through that 35-kilometre stage. Kosgei, the leading woman, will be hoping to take home the winner's cheque of £2,500. Most of the rest of the field are just interested with how much money they raise for charity. Certainly that's the case with Rebecca Tomlinson, the daughter of the late Jane Tomlinson, who's having a really good run today.
Rebecca, 18 miles. How are the legs? How's your body?
Starting to ache a little bit, but I'm doing all right, I think.
There's such a great support up here. What do you think so far?
It's fantastic. I didn't realise there was going to be this many people.
Rebecca just outside the top 20 women and just ahead of Tony Audenshaw.
Tony, what was that all about?
The crowds, bit of fun. They've been amazing, the crowds, fantastic.
Yeah, they've been brilliant support.
Awesome, yeah.
And you seem to be feeling fine, so go on, how's the body?
Yeah, we're from 18 miles. Legs haven't gone yet, so it's just great. What a great day for running this is. People are so nice, hey! Thanks for coming out.
I'll keep up the pace, you're doing a great one.
You're doing a good job keeping up here.
Mike, how are you doing?
Brilliant, thank you, having a great time.
And what's this all about?
Partly beating bowel cancer, partly trying to be first fancy dress, and apparently I am.
And how are the legs?
Not too bad at the minute. Yeah, I'm feeling okay.
Moving nicely.
How are you feeling at this stage?
All good, very, very hot. But yeah, happy, still smiling.
Legs okay? You seem quite bouncy.
Yeah.
How are you going to push through that pain barrier? Because it's going to start to really hurt now, sorry to tell you.
Tell me that. No, I'm having fun.
How are you feeling at this stage, Harry?
My legs are very, very tired, Charlie. They really are. But this support, it's phenomenal. I've been quite emotional about it, to be honest, because the applause have got to me. And hi. Hello, Richard. How are you? It's just amazing, really.
Into the home straight for the birthday boy, 25 today, Edwin Career. Just a few metres to go here in Yorkshire. What a fantastic day's work from him. 2 hours 14 is certainly going to be beaten, and it's been an unbelievable effort over the last 4 miles. In he comes for the biggest win of his career. He is the Yorkshire Marathon champion for 2013.
Congratulations. You looked so strong coming into the finish.
Yeah. I was so strong because I was relaxing.
Will we see you coming back here to Yorkshire again next year?
I will. I like it so much.
John Mutai coming into the finish. He's had wins in Annecy, in Edinburgh, in Belfast, but today he has to settle for second place, and he looks bitterly disappointed with that. Just couldn't stay with the pace at the 21-mile mark. Guaranteed the best of the Brits, but he's a broken Brit and not looking happy. His pacing wasn't right today, started too slowly and then just couldn't pick up the pace in the closing stages. So let's have a look at the results. 2:13.31, the winning time from Edwin Career, ahead of John Mutai. 7 minutes 4 seconds, the margin between first and second. Thomas Abu in third place, ahead of Jackson Lockersholl, who dropped out of that leading group at the halfway stage. The leading lady, Helen Koskei, 29-year-old, completing her comeback from 2 years off. A brilliant run today to take the win.
A very, very hard day, but you made a great comeback from your break.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm thankful to God. He has given me strength.
Holly Rush has just got better and better as the race has gone on, and she's still moving at the same pace as she was at the start. Great performance and a great day out.
How surprised are you to have got so high up in this one?
Very surprised, because I've got to be honest, I came here just to use it as a sort of training run. I'm in high miles for another race I'm doing, so this was like added bonus, really. Yeah, I loved it, yeah.
So Koskei takes the win in 2 hours 40 and 10 seconds. Holly Rush, a very good second place, ahead of Philippa Taylor, who wins her age category and gets on the podium.
I knew that if I carried on the form that I was in, I could do sub 250. But you know, with every marathon, those last from 20 miles is an absolute killer. That's kind of where the race starts. That's where the tiredness sits in, and at that point you have to dig deep.
Well, there are many, many athletes out there digging very, very deep at this stage. Rebecca Tomlinson has had an outstanding run.
Yeah, all I can think of is that I'm really hurting right now.
The atmosphere is amazing. Everyone's cheering for you, wearing the number 1, and we all wish you the very best of luck for the next 3 miles.
Thank you very much.
Go get them, girl. Go on.
Just behind Rebecca is Tony Audenshaw, who's due to be on the set of Emmerdale tomorrow morning. I guess he'll be hoping for an easy day.
It is tough, you know, these last few miles. You've just got to give the distance respect. It's really hard at this stage, always.
Well, Rebecca's just ahead of you, Rebecca Tomlinson, and in fact we can still see her.
I've got to try and catch Rebecca up now.
Well, you're both on for about 3.5 hours. I know that's exactly. Oh, are you? Well, good luck, mate.
About 3:23, I reckon.
Well, there's about 3. There's a sprint finish left in you then, isn't there? Go on, son. I wish you the best.
Tony still moving very well. There are others who are struggling with injury and lack of energy.
I'm going to finish with a walk, run, crawl.
Well, I mean, everyone talks about this wall. Have you seen this wall? It looks like you might be well in it right now.
I think I've hit it, but I didn't see it.
Did it hit you?
So it hit me, yeah, hopefully. It hits my wife because she's behind me. If she beats me, that's it. I'll never live it down.
I know why you stopped us, because you want a rest. I know all the tricks in the book. So, mate, 3 miles to go. That is a sprint finish where I come from. On your horse.
And suddenly the pace picks up as they approach the finish line. Hannah Cockcroft still at the finish area, applauding all those who've run the whole distance. Even an Olympic champion can be in awe of those who do something that they haven't.
It's brilliant to be involved with it. You know, I've got so much respect. You know, I struggled with 6 miles, so all these guys doing 26 miles, I've just got too much respect for them because I can't imagine doing it.
And here comes number 489. That's Robin Tuddenham from Todmorden Harriers. And he has left nothing out there at all. Another 5 metres. That's all. He just has to keep leaning forward. He is done. Wonderful effort.
Time?
3:19.14 on a my watch, so well ahead. 10 minutes PB for him.
10-minute PB, you smashed it.
Yeah, thanks. It's good.
Can you still talk?
I'm going to go lie down on the grass.
Tony Audenshaw finally makes it to the line, still looking remarkably fresh. He's in good shape.
Straight away, you knew it was going to be flattish, and the conditions today for running are just perfect, and thought I'd take advantage of it. I'm really pleased. The crowds of York, hats off to you. You've been absolutely amazing. It was like New York in places, never mind York.
Rebecca Tomlinson overtaken by Tony Audenshaw, but she's still in the top 25 of all the women competing today.
I enjoyed that. I mean, not looking when I passed the line, but it was fantastic. I loved every minute of it, and the people running are just, everybody just keeps everybody going, and you know, just the amount of support that everybody gives each other, you just don't see that anywhere else.
Your mum would have loved this, wouldn't she?
Oh, she would have been so jealous if she's seen it and not been able to take part. She would have 100% taken part in this.
Mike Wells completing in fancy dress and surrounded by hundreds of emotional athletes.
That was a way to finish a marathon.
I'm just really happy that I finished.
I feel like I'm about to burst into tears. Amazing.
Another man joins the 100 club.
That's unbelievable. So, I tell you, gospel words.
My hand hurts for the amount of high fives I've done though. And just the support's been amazing.
Yeah, I've loved every minute of it. Sport's been fantastic all the way around. Fantastic event though. I'd love to do it again. It's great.
Harry still going and still running. And what about Susan Adams? 200 marathons.
You are an absolute legend. I can't imagine what it takes to do 200 marathons. I'll leave you to do the last 200 yards. Congratulations.
And on top of that, she's beaten her husband, who completes his 259th today. Between them, 459 marathons, enough to take them from York to Auckland. From someone who's completed 200 to a man who's about to complete his second marathon, Harry Gratian. He's shaken more hands and shared more smiles than most out there today. Recently voted Yorkshireman of the Year.
The last 5 miles has killed me. Yeah, it really has. I don't know whether I'll recover as quickly as I rather hoped I would, but it was very tough, the last 5. But the atmosphere out there was sensational. Some of the villages were just heaving, and the support, I tell you, was very moving, very emotional, very emotional.
Seldom have I seen runners enjoy an event so much, and I think many of them will be coming back next year. And anyone else who's inspired needs to get registered very, very quickly, because the places will be in high demand.
Well, it really has been an absolutely stunning debut for the Yorkshire Marathon. These two have been working their socks off out on the course. Dino, any highlights?
Mate, 26.2 miles. I think I've doubled that at least. But no, the highlight for me has got to be the atmosphere. Everywhere I've been, and I have covered quite a bit, York has turned out in their droves, mate. From mile 1 to mile 26, they've been out with cups of teas, cups of water. They've been having sweets handed out to the athletes. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and I think they should be very proud of themselves.
Charlie, we saw some great stories at the start. They all made it to the finish, and some real northern grit on display out there.
Yes, it was so emotional, and just chatting to people, and I got into the whole trying to motivate them, and I was just screaming and shouting along with the crowd as well. The atmosphere is exceptional. It's one of the best I've seen. I've done a lot of marathons, and also it's great. This is my home county. I'm from Yorkshire. I'm so proud that it's actually here, and the sun shined.
Well, it has been absolutely brilliant. The whole county, the whole city have come out in sparkling form. There is no doubt this has been a debut to savour and remember.